Well then, we're back. Not on New World, we're on Old World as you can see. But today we're gonna be taking a look at the wolf den. So most of this is gonna stay, that lantern, the torches, they're pretty much gonna stay. There is a little bit of a difference which I'm going to need to make to this. I'm gonna keep the water here. I'm gonna keep that. Um yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. I'm gonna keep my side pretty much the same. Rad Skull's side, I'm gonna try and keep the same. He decorated it a little bit, but he did not do much. So I think I'm gonna try and stay true to his idea here, or at least his vision. I might decorate it for him. I think I'm actually gonna talk to him and see if he's okay with me decorating his area. I'm probably gonna have Artsy come on and decorate her area, which is part of what I need to change. Most of this dog den is still exactly the same, but when Artsy was introduced, this was already built. Everything here was already built before she was introduced. So I'm going to make her an area inside this new den on the new world. That way she has a place for all of her wolves. Because in the old world, she did not have every variant. She had like 2 or 3 pale wolves, and that was it. So I'm going to make her a place inside this den for her to keep her wolves. So that's pretty much it. Let me get a look. Let me get a look up here at the top. Yeah, this shouldn't be too hard. The hardest thing that might be for me to do is the leaves, and well, it won't be too hard, but it should be pretty easy. So let's go ahead and hop over to New World here. Once it's loaded in, we can go ahead and look at kind of what we're working with. Oh right, I have not been on since the last time I recorded, so I've literally just been kind of trying to plan out how I wanted to do this den since then. Um, Whatever motivation I had for making the den in the other world, I have none of that motivation right now. None of it. Zero. Zilch. Nada. None. But we're gonna get this pickaxe. Actually, let me get the iron pickaxes as well. Oh, and we might as well get the water. There we go. Okay, let's get some cobblestone. Why is there sand? Why is there red sand in here? Let's put this red sand over in the actual correct place. There we go. Throw that in here quickly. Try not to screw anything up. Alright. Now I gotta give this a piece of cobblestone. No, come here. Come, give me your sand. Thank you. Take some cobblestone. It's like an unsupervised toddler. Oh my gosh. Allays are very annoying, but you also love them, just like an unsupervised toddler. You're frustrating. You stupid blue little spirit thingy, whatever you are. Alright, why am I not my skin? Give me a second. Okay, now that my skin is fixed, looks weird with armor on it yet, but now that it's fixed, we can go ahead and jump in this hole. First try, not a problem. We'll go up 1 block to get on the 64 level, and we're just going to build a bit of a platform here, because whenever I did it on the other world, I kept constantly falling down in that hole every time I would mine the floor. So to stop that from happening, we're going to add a floor. Of course, this is not going to be the original floor the entire time, but it's going to be most of it. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Do got to grab a bit more cobblestone, which is fine. I have a bunch of it. And after mining all of this out, I'm going to have even more. Probably going to have to make another chest, but we'll get to that when that time comes. Alright. So we're going to pretty much let's fill in the rest of this floor before we get into anything else. Alright. So, how am I going to do this? Just start mining in at a diagonal angle, I guess, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen from that point on. I'm going to try and keep it about 3 blocks high. I think that's going to be a good height. I'm going to try and keep this looking lush and alive in this sense, Because any other time when I built a dog den before on any of my other worlds, I always made it very gray and this depressing and, well, it didn't look alive. But I like the lush look a lot better. So we're going to try and keep this one alive. So I think for the most part, I'm just going to continue on with the rest of this being pretty much a montage. So yeah, I guess let's start that. Alright, with that montage done, I'm going to show you what I have done so far. And I was indeed correct, I did need to make another chest. Which, I'm surprised it's not as filled as it is going to be here in a moment. I actually thought it would be a lot fuller than what it currently is. And we're going to have to go ahead and start up more cobblestone in each of these. Which is totally fine. Everything's okay. It's okay. It's under control. Everything's just fine. Definitely not starting to run on low on lava. I mean, I'm never gonna run out, but I do need those to fill up. Actually, I don't want that on me. Where did I put the other stone? Probably in here. Nope. Okay, where'd I put it? I know I put it somewhere. I just don't know. Oh, yep, there we go. There we go. And we can add that. Okay, let me think. I'm still trying to organize. I probably should have waited till I was done with that to start this, but you know, that's okay. We can get through it. Coal. I don't really have a need for copper. I already have 2 stacks. I don't need any more, but I guess I can throw it in here for when I need it. Gravel, on the other hand. I will take... I don't really need more gravel, but I guess it's good to have it. Cobblestone, I'm going to keep that on me just for like a building block or basic need, just in case I need it. I have a lot more pickaxes than I thought I was going to need. That is for sure. But most of this is going to be changed to stone. Most of this, the gravel, the dirt, it's all going to be changed to stone, the diorite. But here's my room. Then, of course, over here, we still have Rad Skull's room. And then the new addition, Artsy's room. And it just so happens that this is also directly beneath where her house should be. So, maybe we can make a basement straight into the dog den from there. But I think I'm going to add a little bit more cobblestone here. Just to try and like make it a bit sharper maybe. Because as much as I like it, I want a sharp turn into her. At least coming from Skull's room, have a sharp turn into the more streamlined, I guess. So we're probably going to cut out a little bit more of this wall, round it off. But basically what I'm going to go ahead and start doing is trying to get some of this here diorite and dirt and copper and whatnot out. I'm going to try and switch this all to stone. Then once it's all stone, then I can go ahead and start with the, then I can start sprinkling in some stone, some gravel, diorite, andesite, granite, and some of that to make it look a little bit more natural, a little bit more, get the decorating part of it out. And then I can go in with my moss and stuff and actually do that. So, I guess this calls for another montage. Yay! I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm gonna start another montage, and I guess I'll come back whenever that's done, I guess. Yeah. Let me get my smooth stone, and then I'll go ahead and I'll start the montage. Let's start this montage. Alright, so that was actually some pretty good work. So, I went ahead and I did the entrance of the cave here. I still gotta add steps on, well, of course, the step area and a few steps and slabs out around here just to make it a little bit nicer. Probably gonna add a few steps in here and whatnot. I think the hallway, for the most part, is gonna be done. Of course, I need to add the water here. And I think instead of just having it go across and into here, I think I might have it come down along here and go in somewhere and maybe another path over to here. And then, of course, the path that the water is going to take for here, it's going to come out of here and go across the floor. And it's going to go across into Ardsy's area. So all the rivers are going to, or the rivers through our areas are going to connect. So they're all going to connect up. And yeah. Oh, it's all stone now. Everything looks good. Everything's clean. And then, of course, I just have this to make stairs and whatnot out of. But yeah, that's basically it. So next montage will most likely be me decorating this and trying to make it look a little bit nicer. So once the rest of this is done cooking, I can go ahead and get on to that. So it shouldn't be too long. I'm going to have to fill up these lava buckets again, which that's okay. With as much as I have been using the lava, it has actually been keeping up surprisingly well, which I'm happy about. So I shouldn't need any more cobblestone, but I might just throw in what little bit of cobblestone I have. I should be fine, but actually, you know what? Yeah, I am going to sacrifice one stack. I'm going to throw in half a stack just to be safe. Can I split that in half perfectly? No, I cannot. Okay, I'm just going to throw in half a stack each. Might not be much, but it's at least going to help. And hey, if I have a little bit left over, I have a little bit left over. What's the big issue? So, yep, I might go and get more moss because I don't want to kind of use the moss I have in reserves, as all of this is reserved. So I don't want to use all that. Spore blossoms I want to use. I might use a cactus flower or two. I gotta go get leaves. That's the big issue, is going to get some leaves. So I might just have to go and get some leaves and some vines. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get maybe a stack or more of leaves, and then I'll use the rest of the durability getting vines. So yeah, there's your next update. Hopefully hopefully I can get this done in under half an hour, or at least get this video down to under half an hour. Alright, so with what I collected, I got a stack of leaves, a stack of vines, and 5 bushes. I'm thinking maybe adding a little bit of dirt in here. If it could be grass, it'd be a lot better, but I kind of gonna have to make do with what I have, so I might add some bushes in here. I don't know why I came in here, considering I need to come right back out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the moss carpet and the moss blocks that I have in my reserve. Just because they're there, I might as well use them. I don't know about firefly bushes. I definitely like to add a few of those. I'm going to add probably all of my spore blossoms just because I don't have very many and I like them. And I might as well use the ones I have to make everything look nice. And I'm also going to add some azalea bushes and whatnot. Probably not going to add any flowers, but they're there for the purpose that I have for them. Of course, I walked away, so not all of this smelted in that time, but hey, it's okay. So I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to use what I have, and I'm going to make do with what I got. But now, noticing that I don't have a stack of bushes, I'm just going to run in here and go ahead. See if I can find a bush that's somewhat secluded, this one. And there we go. Alright, so now we have a stack of blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am going to... Oh, do I have any andesite? I might need to go mine up some andesite. Nope, I got andesite. Okay, so andesite, diorite, gravel, and I'm probably going to grab just a little bit more cobblestone, although I don't want to go from a full stack. But it's alright. We have a lot of cobblestone, so it's alright. I'll take half a stack. I think that... I mean, I can always come out and get more. I'm probably going to need more gravel and diorite and whatnot. But yeah, there we go. So I'm going to get started. So enjoy said montage. Alright, so I'm finished with the interior, mostly. The vines and leaves were used very heavily around here. But I think I'm going to get rid of some of the vines and maybe 1 or 2 of the leaves. And probably add a little bit more detail with steps and slabs around here in the front. The interior looks pretty good. I'm really happy with it. I do want to see if I can plant these both on moss blocks, so I'm going to switch that out. I just did it with dirt for the current time being because I wasn't sure if it would work or not. Radskull's going to join eventually and decorate his room. Artsy's going to join and decorate hers. And I'm going to go and get materials to start decorating my side. Before I even start decorating, I'm going to get the river that runs through and connects to each of our rooms. So I'm going to get all that, and then I'm going to make a chest and put in each of their rooms and give them materials to do it with. That way they're not stealing my stuff. But that's basically it. I'm going to get the river ready, and then I'm going to go ahead and decorate my side with everything I have going on. So yeah. Alright, so here's basically what's happening. So Radskull is going to come in and decorate his side. So what I've done is I've set up a specific number of materials that he can use. He does not have to use all of them if he does not want to, but he is not required to use all of them. I'm setting up the rivers for each of us. There we go. He does not have to use those materials, but he is more than welcome to. Artsy has the exact same materials as Radskull. And to keep this fair, because I don't want it to be unfair, I have the exact same number of materials in my inventory. So, that's the thing. I'm going to give them each 5 days, and I'm going to give myself 5 days in order to do this. So, the only thing left to do is to wait for them to get on the server. Alright, so my room is done, and it took me a day. So if they have 5 days and can't finish their room, well, I just don't know. But I went ahead and added a bridge. I'm going to move this entire river 1 block forward, because the one step is kind of taking up the river. So in everyone's cavern, I'm going to move the river up 1, which shouldn't mess with it too much, but I'm just going to move it up 1. Got some nice vines and leaves and foliage and everything. You can basically see what I've done. It's pretty self-explanatory, and that's just from my area. And I didn't use any of the azaleas because you can only plant that on moss or dirt. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out the azalea bushes from everybody else's chest and leave them to do what they think they can do with what they have. Because if I didn't use them, they're not going to. I mean, if they want to use them, I'll still let them use them, but I don't really see a need for them to even try to use them if you can't plant them on anything other than moss. So that's my area done. Just making sure I have everything. So once they're free, they'll be on to do their room.
This is my decorations. Over here I have my cats. I'm gonna get 2 more gray ones. Then over here are my dogs. I have hanging vines from the ceilings, firefly bushes, mushrooms all over the place. More vines and hanging vines. But yeah, these are my decorations. Bye!
So this is the wolf den that Dino had me decorate. I decided to go for a bit of a more simplistic yet rundown vibe. I think it honestly turned out pretty well. Broken down bridge, mossy areas here, little bit of detail there, and yeah, I think it looked pretty good. Yippee!